Good morning. It's 11:31, and I want us to get started in our town hall. I don't believe in penalizing those who are on time for those who aren't, so we're going to move right into this. Reverend Margie, would you please step forward and and help center us?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Jerry. So take a deep breath into the space that is God alive in you. And release fully. And let go of anything that you brought into the space today that is not needed for your highest good. We come together in this moment to be present to that still, small voice, the one who lifts our spirit into infinite wisdom and intelligence, into creative wisdom, into inspired action, so that we may live into the mission of this community, where we are called to be transformational for ourselves and all those who are here. And we are called to be an inspiration so that we may do the greater work that makes a positive difference in our world. Thank you, God, for the leadership team that guides and directs us and moves us forward into that positive, life-affirming action. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Margie. After each board meeting, we will typically have an evolutionary statement in the service and then a town hall. And I want to be clear on what the difference of those two things is. The evolutionary statement is more of a statement of how we're changing, how we're growing, how we're moving forward in more of a metaphysical or a larger view standpoint, whereas the town hall is your opportunity to hear what we accomplished or didn't accomplish in our last board meeting. So today's, as we move into this, I'm going to start again with, we're going to review our quantum living cue card for the congregation. You heard it once today, but I want you to consider that when we did this, we looked at who we were, how we acted, what we believed, what we thought was our motive of action at that time, and then we took a look at who we aspire to be, who we truly are, and who we want to grow into. So, I'll read it to us. We had behaviors that indicated we were believing we were not enough. We were distrusting. We were grieving. We were blaming. We thought we were powerless. We were fearful. That was then. Sometimes, if we have those behaviors, we ask you to call on us and let us realize that's true. Because who we have come here to be is loving, in integrity, unstoppable, spirit-led, empowered, in ownership, and transformational. Reverend Tim, would you like to say a couple words before we get started? I do this as soon as he takes a bite of his banana.
I'm just so grateful for Jerry, for all the board, and grateful for the positive directions that we're moving in. And thank you for the great board update today that really helps us to see behind the scenes how we're transforming. So other than that, nothing else for me at this point. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Tim. So part of our opportunity as a board is to elect board officers. But even more important than that is we are by our bylaws call for us to have 9 elected board members. And when we elected 3 people, we still had 1 vacancy. The board did take the steps of selecting another person to fill that vacancy, and he's still in the process of being vetted, of being verify that he's fully qualified. But I would like to introduce to you David Grisham. David, would you stand up and wave to the camera? All right, I look forward to working with David. The opportunities I've had so far, I've found to be very, very enlightening and fulfilling. So our officers, I have the opportunity of serving as president. Ralph Whitaker is upstairs. He's part of Zamar, and they're rehearsing right now. He's our vice president. Jan Fitzgerald is our secretary. Cindy Hensley and Hanana Ray, if you'd stand and identify yourselves. Our treasury team, Cindy is the treasurer. Our assistant treasurer is Juliet Carlson. I saw you here too. Nope. Oh, assistant secretary. Excuse me, Juliet. If you stand up and make yourself known. Thank you for my my faux pas. And I want, as president, I don't believe that I lead anything except I have the opportunity of being a spokesperson. I'm going to try and get more of our members to take these kind of roles. I believe my role is to simply make their jobs easier and just to keep us on track with what we're trying to do as a team. I want to talk about our committee opportunities. These are our standing committees: facilities, Unity School, fundraising, strategic planning, membership, finance, and policy. As we evolve, as we come back into the sanctuary, as a school that makes their change, as we find new programs and new functions we want to perform here as a ministry, we're going to have opportunities. But the thing is, we on the board, we don't know everything. We're looking for input. We're looking for people to share these opportunities with us. One of the things, for example, we see happening is our treasurer has truly divided their responsibilities up so that it doesn't become too much of a, burden's not a good word, too much of a challenge, too much time intrusive for one person. And we want to do more of that. We want to do more team building. We want to build the beloved community where we all raise us all up and we all work together. But consider the communities that we have here. We're going to let you know what they do individually and where we really need them help. So, treasuring team, our terrific treasury team. Actually, would you like to come forward and talk to us about our nonprofit opportunity?
Hey, everybody in the sanctuary and those of us watching online today. We so appreciate you. And before we get started with our report today, I just want to take a moment and really recognize our outgoing treasurer, who Debbie Catania, who, if you're watching online, we so are grateful for all the service that she has provided for the last, how many? 6 years. So let's give it up for Debbie Catania. If you're here, we appreciate you. Right on. One of the things that Hinano and I are really invested in this year is really talking openly about some of the things that we do here at Unity Church of Hawaii within our community, because we believe that we are living our mission, which is centered in God. We transform lives and inspire people to make a positive difference in the world. And one of the ways we do that is by tithing. We tithe 10% of our donations out. And a third of it goes to Unity Worldwide Ministry, a third of it to Unity World Headquarters, and a third of it to a local nonprofit organization, local, right here in our own community, who also has similar values and missions as our own. And I would like Hinano to share with us who we've chosen to receive March's tithe.
Thank you, Cindy. Check, check. Sound check. Okay, so this was easy. I just thought really quickly about some of my favorite nonprofit organizations, and one that is fairly in our vicinity, not quite our backyard, but close, is very dear to my heart. It's Ho'oulu'aina. Ho'o means to make happen. Ulu is life, and Aina is the land. So this is a organization that uses a big parcel of land in Kalihi Valley to grow and restore and build community. All of the foods that they produce there go either to the community or to the Kalihi Comprehensive Health Services facility. And that particular facility was founded by a church organization as well. It's a wonderful organization. There's this great synergy between producing, caring for the land, and caring for one another, and learning about health and wellness as well as spiritual growth.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So that has been our organization of choice for this month. And Hinano, thank you for all that you did to bring that forward. If you just want to hang out with me, we're just going to go briefly over the financials, or she's going to
I'll
actually...
let you finish, and
okay.
I'll sit over there and watch.
All right. Hinano's going to sit over there and watch. All right. So I just want to bring your attention... First of all, I want to bring your attention to the fact that I've been the treasurer for approximately 23 days. So not too long. This is my first opportunity to stand before you in that role. And I want you to know that as your trusted treasury team, we're calling ourselves T3, that Hanano and I will do our best to be transparent and also bring you the information as we know it. And if there's ever a mistake, we will always do our best to rectify and change and work with you. I just want to bring your attention to this month's donations. We had $11,378.83 in donations. Other income this month was $13,622.83 for a total income of $25,001.66. We had cost of direct revenue was $1,772.71. This is actually a little bit more than normal, and the reason for that was sometimes if we don't get our tithes out in the month of which they are meant to, then they kind of transfer over to the next month. So that actual cost is a little bit higher than normal. So just know that. Our total expenses then were $32,623.43. Now, the net ordinary income, as you can see, is a negative $9,394.50. And again, I just want to bring your attention to the fact that a couple things are happening here, right? This is February. It's a little bit of a shorter month. It's also on the heels of the big giving season, right? So December, January. So there's an opportunity sometimes. We've seen trending going on where February has been a little bit shorter. I mean, it's just across the board. So I want to offer us up an opportunity. I want to say this is our opportunity next year. Like, I want to see February high, like not low, but we're going to see that high. We don't want to be in the negative anything. But one of the good things I will want to bring your attention to, which is not on a slide here, is that I did some research about the auto tithe, the auto giving that Reverend Tim keeps talking about. And in February, we had the highest percentage of auto giving that we have had to date. To date. So congratulations. Good job. Good work. And that's you out there and you in here. That's all of us, all right? Really good. We also always give you just a cumulative look. We only have January and February to look at right now. So cumulatively, our net revenue is $52,192.58. Our total expenses are $65,533.58 for a net income of negative $13,341. Again, we know that we are not in the negative. We are in the positive, and we know that there are just certain things that happen throughout time, and we know that we are responsible. We can, and I envision us sooner than later, in fact, I'm going to call it now, that we are going to move from that negative number into the positive, because I am positive that each one of us has a positive opportunity to do something. For me, this is my something I'm doing. I'm just going to call myself out. I go to Starbucks or someplace like that regularly. Regularly. I spend $5 a day, regularly, at least. I'm going to start now not going to Starbucks and not spending that $5 a day regularly. And for the month of April, I am naming it and claiming it. I am going to spend all that $5 a day and more, because usually there's a tip involved, donating that money to Unity Church of Hawaii. So if you want to name what you're going to do and you want to claim what you're going to do, call it forward, and then we expect to see your auto tithe up just a tiny bit for the month of April. That's all I've got, friends. Thanks for letting me be of service.
Thank you, Cindy. You know, it is a small world, and I want to offer just a thought about the organization that they chose. It's very dear to my heart. My Rotary Club, for example, goes out and works in their fields, the same fields you're talking about, clearing the area so they can plant new food. Kokua Kalihi Valley Health Center, I was there at the building of that building, installed their network to all their locations and their telephone system. And I had the opportunity of building a pop-up library for the kids on the second floor where they get free books to read while they're there and to take home with them. So you chose something very dear to my heart. Thank you for that. Okay, questions. This is your opportunity. Fire away. We welcome any questions you might have. Either we're really good or really poor in our communication. And I'm going to affirm we've been very clear. would you?
For your online folks out there, this is Cindy. I know you can't see me on camera, but if you've got a question for us, you can type it in the chat. I've got the online community up here, and I can relay your question. Facebook and YouTube.
So we'll give it. Oh, Benita?
I was asked a couple of Sundays ago, are we ever going to have two services again in the future? Two services?
Reverend Tim, that's a ministry question. I'm going to defer to the microphone.
I got it. Thank you for that question, and that's something I continue to ask myself as well. I think that is dependent upon the need. You know, at what point would it be valuable for us to have two services? Now, there's a number of factors that go into that, one of which is musicians. So we're paying for musicians and so forth, and so looking at the expenses of that, I do envision that happening at some point. I don't know at what point, and I think that will probably involve some discussion among those of us who are in leadership. And I hope so. I hope we do get there. I know that we're on one service right now, and the service is filling up. And it's like, at what point do we do that? There may be some people who prefer an earlier time. And I know in the past, there were people who preferred an earlier time rather than... So thank you for the question, and I'm still in the question, just so you know. But I am thinking about that, and that will require some more decision making. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? I'd like to offer an observation that I made today. I'm sorry. Oh, Lisa, go ahead.
It's not a question, but a suggestion. You're doing your thing. I raised almost $600 on Facebook on my birthday, during my birthday month, so it's a super easy way to create and, spend or ask for donations for a nonprofit. So we just got the check for almost $600 this week. So easy breezy way to do it once a year.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm thinking about your challenge. I'm not certain what I will, but I will have a response for myself by the end of the day that I will follow through on. Thank you for that opportunity. I do want to offer an observation that I've made. It's kind of interesting being a camera operator, because as a camera operator, you kind of see things from a different perspective, and you focus on the things that are going on, rather than just sitting in a pew and just enveloping yourself in what goes on around you. And the things I've observed has been a return of people who have been not here for a while, fuller pews. It's easier to show a crowd on the Zoom than it used to be. What I've really appreciated is the standing right here in the middle after the service, just listening to all the conversation going on around me, and just hearing people joyfully expressing love to each other. And it's almost like family getting together for the first time in a long time. I've really enjoyed going down to the courtyard area and observing that we have people gathering down there, sitting around tables, sharing together. So when I think of where we were and how we're evolving and what is emerging, I'm just very grateful that I have an opportunity to be a part of that. So, in closing then, if we would all stand and gather and link hands if you're comfortable. Elbows if you're not. Oops, I forgot my kazoo.
Before we close today, I just want to bring our attention back to one thing that Jerry said, and just to really lean into this. We have these standing committees, And we are really reaching out to our beloved community. That's you and all the people in here. If you are called to be on one of these committees, we need you. We want some fresh love. We want some fresh advice. We want some fresh vision. So there is a whole list of standing commitments, or standing committees. And if you're interested, you can just call the office and somebody will pick up or leave a message. Just let us know. We really, really, truly want you and all of you. So that's all I had. Thanks, Jerry.
Well said. Thank you.
And may I say one more thing? So I want to thank our youth and family workers. I see Sharon here. And Kim is not here today, but Layla was here, and so we've brought Layla online. And we just so appreciate you being there and helping our Keiki community. Thank you so much, Sharon. I love it. Thank you.
Are you going to lead us out, Jerry?
Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and